So everything you're saying sounds really good. I would like that to happen in my business. So can you guarantee those things are going to happen? Oh, snap! That is tough. Most of you are not prepared for the can you guarantee the results question, and the other question that's very similar to the guarantee question, which is, how do I know this is going to work? What's happened is that you haven't developed a sufficient amount of trust before or during your sales conversation. So when somebody gets to that point where they're like, yeah, I like everything that we're talking about. I'd like to have that happen in my business, but I'm not all that sure that you're the one to actually do it. This is a pretty important topic, and I was reminded of it by seeing a post by Michael Janda over on Instagram at @morejanda. He posts a lot of great content on Instagram, but this one I don't really agree with. He says, don't guarantee results. The only guarantees in life are death and taxes. So don't guarantee your service. Don't guarantee the outcome. Michael says, unless you can control all of the variables, you cannot offer a guarantee. P.S. You can't control all the variables. Here's the thing. You don't have to have control of all the variables. We're never, ever in control of all the variables in anything in life. But guarantees exist all over the place. What you do is you guarantee what you're capable of guaranteeing. When a prospect asks you to guarantee your work or says, how do I know this will work? These are trust questions. These are questions where they're trying to eliminate some of the risk on their side. They know as an entrepreneur or business owner or manager that they're not going to eliminate all their risk, but they're trying to eliminate enough risk that it makes this a good decision. They're trying to get assurance from you that they're making a good decision here. When a prospect asks either one of these questions, what they're saying is you didn't build up sufficient trust before or during the sales conversation. And you have to overcome that. You have to bring in trust at that point because you've already missed the mark at this moment, but you can start diving into, well, what is their real objection? What are they really worried about? So Michael Janda says you should tell a prospect that you don't offer guarantees. Here's the wording he suggests that you use. Client, these ideas sound great, but we want to guarantee that they will work. Designer, there are a lot of factors that contribute to marketing success. We cannot control all of them. We have control over things like design, messaging, and ad placement. You control things like price points, salesmanship, advertising, and budget. Neither of us can control some things like economic conditions and consumer buying trends. Since we cannot control all the variables that contribute to the success of a strategy, we cannot guarantee results. Client, that makes sense, but how do we know if it will work? Designer, well, we can tell you that the last client we worked with saw an increase of XX% in sales due to the work we did for them. We would hope for similar results for your campaign. Okay, this is basically saying, trust me, I know what I'm doing, but if anything goes wrong, don't blame me. This is kind of employee mentality. An employee doesn't guarantee their work. You pay them just for working, just for showing up. You can fire them if they do a bad job, but you don't get your money back. They don't guarantee that they're going to do a good job. They don't guarantee that they're going to get results when they do their job. If you want to be paid a premium, an expert's premium, well, an expert comes in knowing what they can and cannot control in a given situation, and then is able to overcome things that they can't control. Let's jump over to an early mentor of mine, Jay Abraham, right over here. Boom, great book. If you've not read it, this is a book I recommend and give out to loads of people. And inside, here's what Jay says about guarantees. I want you to push into the heart of your selling message. You're going to be the one company or practice in your industry or the one executive or staff member in your company who offers a strong and powerful risk reversal to the client. Here's how you do it. You totally and completely guarantee the purchase for your client. What does guarantee mean? It means you totally eliminate the risk for the client. Wow! Okay, that is far different than what Michael Jand is saying. Michael's saying, don't guarantee the work. Don't guarantee outcome. Don't guarantee things for the client. And he's not wrong. He's not really right either, but he's not wrong. On the other side, you got Jay Abraham saying, take on all the risk. Take on every bit of risk. And this is not exactly right either. It's definitely not wrong, but it's not exactly right. The real answer lies somewhere in the middle. Because what we want to do is we do want to reverse some of the risk. We want to take on the risk because the more risk you take on, the greater reward you can have. So if you are in a situation where a client wants a guarantee, well then that means you're going to take on more risk and they're going to pay for that risk. You've got three choices. Don't take on the risk, which means you're not going to get paid very much. Much like an employee, you're only going to get paid a certain amount of money because the employer is taking on all the risk and you take on zero risk. Well, then on the other side, Jay's saying take on all the risk. Well, if you take on all the risk, one or two people are probably going to take advantage of that. But on that side of it, you've got to make sure you get paid significantly for this. And if you don't, well then you could end up losing in this arrangement and all the reward goes to the client hiring you. The third option is to guarantee what you are capable of guaranteeing. If you can guarantee a certain result because you know you can achieve that result because, well, you're an expert, you would be able to achieve higher premiums on your fees. And the client is going to be far happier. They're going to be far happier saying yes to you, and they're going to be far happier with the end result. Let's say you're a web designer. What can you guarantee? If all you're doing is designing a site, then what you can do is guarantee that it's going to look good. But to who? You or to your client? Well, if you say to my client, then you can say, I can guarantee that you're going to love this website. What does that mean? Well, you may have more iterations. You may do more revisions to be able to make sure that your client is very happy with their new site. That's something within your power. It's within the ability to reverse that risk. The client wants a good-looking website, and you can promise them that they're going to get a website that they feel is good-looking. But what if the client says, I want you to guarantee that this new site is going to increase sales? Well, if all you do is web design and you're not actually doing conversion rate optimization, you're not doing all this testing, you're not doing copywriting, you're not doing any of that other stuff, you're just doing a design, then there's no way you could guarantee that it's going to improve sales. A lot of times, brand new, pretty looking websites decrease sales. So that would be terrible. It's like, oh yeah, it's going to increase sales, and you put up your new site and sales go down, you're probably going to get sued. So what you have to do is either go into the conversion rate optimization business, or you tell this prospect, this just isn't for me. My business can't serve your needs, so we'll part ways. Let's go into what a guarantee is. You're essentially saying, if X does not happen, I'll do Y. That could be something like, if we don't achieve a positive ROI on this ad campaign, then I will redo the ad campaign until you receive a positive ROI. Or it could be, I'll design this logo and you're going to be super happy with it, and if you're not, I'll give you your money back. Those are both guarantees and have varying degrees of your control. But you can set up processes and procedures that allow you to fulfill your promises. And well, you're an expert. You're getting paid to fulfill your promises. So find ways of creating a process, creating procedures that essentially guarantee the outcome, guarantee a thing that you can achieve. The trick here is having a guarantee that actually meets what your prospect is looking for. So if you say, I can guarantee X, but the prospect says, I want you to guarantee Z, there's just no way that's going to happen because you don't have the ability to achieve Z or a certainty that you could achieve Z. So you're going to either have to bring them back to something reasonable within reality, or you're going to say, we should part ways. Let me give you a bit of an absurd example. The client says, I want you to guarantee that this new logo you're going to design for me will increase sales by 12%. It's like, well, that's not how logos work. So it's not possible for me to guarantee that it's going to increase sales at all, let alone sales by 12%. So we either have to tell that prospect, I can't do that. We need to part ways because you've got unrealistic expectations of what a logo does, or take the time to educate the client. Get over their objectives. Why are they trying to get a logo to increase sales? Something else may be going on. You may actually be able to do other work for them that will increase sales. These trust questions that your prospects are asking, or their statements that they're making, are there to get you to help them. They're trying to find a way to ask you, what will solve my problem? And it's your job, because you're the expert, it's your job to help them find the solution, not just give them the thing that they're asking for. So they say, I want a logo to increase sales. You either find a way to give them a logo and they understand that it isn't going to directly increase sales, or you give them a solution that increases sales and you don't do the logo. Now let's wrap up with what I recommend: conditional guarantees. The first engagement you're ever going to do with your client is strategy. You're going to do the planning, and in the process of planning is where you're going to come up with the objectives of your project. You're going to come up with metrics. You're going to come up with tasks and responsibilities, roles and responsibilities that you and your client have to fulfill to be able to get the results you're after. Well, you can have a conditional guarantee. If you do your side of this agreement, I'll do my side, and if it doesn't work out, I'll do this other thing. I'll either give you your money back, I'll do more work, I'll do new revisions, I'll do something to make it right. And if you've been doing client work for a while, you know that no client ever does 100% of what they say they will do. They all promise that they will do their side of the agreement. They almost never do. And if you have that happen, well, then the guarantee is void because they didn't uphold their side of it. I don't want you to use it as a way to trick a client. If you do this thing, then I will guarantee it. If you're doing that, if you're trying to pull one over on your client, don't. It's going to bite you in the ass. Make sure that you do something that is in their best interests and in yours, because what you're trying to do is give them a great outcome and the results that they're after. You're trying to work together as partners in this. So you can have a conditional guarantee. If they have their side of it and they don't fulfill their side of it, the guarantee's void. But I still recommend that you have some form of assurance on your side, that you're going to uphold your side no matter what. So if some of the things on your side don't match the KPIs that you were after, well, then you will do what it takes to achieve that. And that's your assurance back to the client. So that doesn't have to be a monetary guarantee. It could just be, I'm going to keep working on this until we achieve it. Now to sum up, a prospect who asks you to guarantee your work or to prove that you're going to be able to achieve the results that you're talking about, this person is looking for you to build trust with them. And that means you faltered somewhere. Most likely in your marketing, you didn't build enough trust there. So you can go back into your marketing, build more social proof, create more case studies, build things that they can know, like, and trust you, so that when they come into a sales conversation, they have a higher level of trust in you, that you're the expert who could solve their problem. During your sales conversation, you bring up trust factors. The act of bringing up trust factors, the things that they may not trust you over, if you bring those things up first, the act of doing so will get your prospect to trust you more. Because anytime you bring up a fault of your own, anything that doesn't put you in a favorable light, that actually builds more trust. especially if you have a response to it. I'm not going to be able to guarantee this, but we can achieve that. If you bring up things like that, then the prospect's going to trust you more and is less likely to ask for a guarantee. Now, I trust that you're going to hit that like button, subscribe, share, comment, and do all the socials. And let's meet back here in the next video.